traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Watch the dollar Canadian here. I'm not long the dollar Canadian. I'm long some Euro Canadian at the moment, but watch the dollar Canadian. It just slipped through 130. Let's take a look at it because this is pretty important support as far as I'm concerned. And one of the things that you got, hold on, let me delete all this stuff. Let's go back here. So we've got crude oil. Obviously, is rallying at this point, and it's rallying back pretty good. And this is what the dollar Canadian's coming up against. We're probably going to take some stops below 130. I'm assuming, right through here. Actually, you know what? We'll just here because I'm running a little late on time. Give me a second. Okay, let's just start with our analysis. We'll just start with the Canadian, just because the Canadian's hitting lows. So the dollar Canadian is coming right into some pretty key support. I'm thinking that this support's going to get taken. So we probably are going to see 129. I want to say 129.20 maybe, somewhere around here. This is going to be some pretty key support as far as I'm concerned. We've been down here before, and we've held down here at this 129.90. So let's see if this 129.90 can hold again. But if not, we might see 129 just a little bit lower than that. I don't know if we're going to get all the way down there. I think stops below this 129.90 might get taken, but it's going to be really tough. 129.95. I'll write that down for now. We might have to make some adjustments. And yeah, so keep your eye on the dollar Canadian here, just because I think this is pretty key support. Now, here, let me go ahead and put an asterisk there. Now, resistance on any move in the dollar Canadian is going to be up at 130.50. Now, we have to keep an eye on crude, because crude and risk appetite is obviously a little stronger right now, which is assisting this move in the Canadian. But 130.50 is going to be resistance, okay? And we are in a range. Keep in mind, I mean, you might go, well, Blake, isn't it bearish? Well, I mean, we've had a bearish move lower. We've given back everything following the Canadian and non-farm payroll, which, I was talking with another trader about a lot of this dollar selling, in my opinion, is from people that were long the dollar following NFP that are getting, they're just getting caught. They were long, and they're like, just all their stops are getting taken through here. So just realize that that's probably what's occurring at the moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at the, well, let's just go to the euro. So I am short the euro dollar, and I'm short at 111.39. All right. I'm expecting a move. I thought we would stop here, last night, and so that's why I, took some shorts there. And so I've got a short in the euro right now, but it is I'm expecting a move into the 90s, so we're almost there now. Let's see here. So you see we got 127% extension right here, and we have the 786 retracement. So that comes in at 111.95. Remember, while we are below 112.50, it is still bearish, but it could extend. Okay, the Aussie just got to resistance right now. Hold on, I have to look at that here in a second. Man, this Kiwi is just ripping. Holy cow. Okay, so 111.95, that's where resistance is. Oh, I don't like this Aussie. Here, please, hold on. Let me go, I'll get to take a look at that. Support's going to be 111.55. Okay, let's take a look at here. Let's go over to the Aussie because this is the one I'm concerned with right now. So here's the Aussie. We just hit the 127%, or I'm sorry, we just hit the 127% extension. Now this is also triangle resistance. So remember yesterday I said I'm expecting a move up towards 111.50. Well, we're here, or 111.50, 77.50. We're here right now. We're right up against what I consider resistance. Now, I don't want it to get much higher than this, and I've got my stops are very close. They're actually only about 20 pips away. But I'm not adding here because I don't see any reversal candle. This is obviously very strong right at the moment. So we are right at resistance. I'm going to put in 77.50 ish. I mean, this is roughly that resistance. We're at the top end of the range. Now, this Aussie dollar, if you look at the, here, let's go to the daily chart. So we're at the triangle. We're at the triangle top. Now remember, trend lines, you can pass them a little bit. You can squeeze past them. That's what we're doing right at the moment. But don't get too excited while we're up here, because I wouldn't say we're breaking out unless you get a daily close above 77.50. That would be a breakout. And like I said, my stops are relatively close to where we're at right now. Okay, and support will be down here at 76.75 now. Let's go over to the pound. Now the pound, we have this Gartley pattern that's in play. Okay, so the Gartley pattern, we are rallying, coming out of the Gartley pattern. Matter of fact, is that an inverted head and shoulder pattern? Ooh. We are at the neckline. This is really key resistance. We're at a neckline, inverted head and shoulder pattern right now. So let's remove that for a moment. Hold on, let me get rid of this. This has to be tweeted. This might actually go a little higher. Hold on, let me delete that. Let's do a little work here. I'm long the pound Aussie, which is down a little bit. I've had that position since yesterday. I'm just straightening out this line here. Really important. Okay. That points to 132.35, which would be just past the 618 retracements. So I'm trying to squeeze this whole chart in here. That's not going to work. Let's do it this way. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of this really quick. Okay. That looks about right. And thank God I got out of that short pound dollar yesterday. It's making all the difference in the world right now. Let's see, today's date 8, 10, 16. Pound US dollar. All right. Gartley pattern in the pound US dollar from yesterday now testing the neckline of an inverted head and shoulder pattern. Yeah, because if that breaks out, which I'll be happy about because, like I said, I'm long a little bit of pound. All right, there we go. Now, if I can just get the Aussie to turn over, that would be great. All right, so Gartley pattern from yesterday is showing the reversal. That could take us past the 618 if this inverted head and shoulder pattern plays out. Okay. I don't know if I have. I don't know if I have it in me to trade the pound to the long side, the pound dollar to the long side, but being long like the pound on a cross, even maybe even short the euro pound might not be a bad trade. You know, I'm long the pound Aussie. It's a cross rate, but I'm still you know, down like 45 pips, but it's the pound Aussie. That thing, you have to give a 200 pip stop, and it can move 500 pips pretty quick. So I don't really worry about that one too much as far as, you know, volatility goes. But this one might actually, the pound dollar could continue to recover from here. So heads up. Okay, so what were we talking about? All right, so there's the pound. So support now in the cable is going to be this spike low. So whatever this overnight low was, which is 130.25, right? 23, 25. I'm going to say 130.25. That's going to be pretty important. Important support. Resistance, we're right up against it. I'll say 131, right? Now we're bearish, but we're going to threaten to go range bound today if we can break higher. Okay, so it's still bearish. Actually, it's still bearish while it's below 35 because you take a look at the bigger picture, and this is I drew this yesterday, so let's remove those fibs. Okay, if this is I guess it's still bearish, even though we might get a near-term bounce. But while it's below 135, it is still bearish. We might be developing a longer-term triangle versus, you know, if this is a Gartley and we bounce here and we're still in the you know, confines of a pretty tight consolidation pattern, right? Okay. Let's take a look at the, what time do I got? I got a few minutes. Let's go into the Swissy. Okay, so the Swissy's pulling back. Now we have pulled back to support right here. No, damn, I'm tempted to go long. I'm going to go long a little bit right here. Supports at 97.50. I keep missing my opportunity to buy this stupid thing, so 97.50. And resistance would be up here at 98. It's still 98. It was 98.30, but 98.40 now. Okay, because if the euro and the pound, you know, and the Aussie turn back over, if we get a bounce in the dollar, we probably see a bounce in this. This is a range. So hourly is pretty oversold. Yeah, watch relative strength here. I just picked some up at 97.63. I don't mind playing a little bit on the long side here because it's right on support. You don't have to risk a whole lot. Okay, let's see if we can get the dollar yen done. So the dollar yen, it if you notice, the dollar yen has it really has come under a lot of it's come under a lot of pressure. And none of the other yen pairs, whew, excuse me, none of the other yen pairs like the Aussie yen, Euro yen, or anything else had been moving lower. That's when you know it's a real dollar move. It's not a yen move. So this has been a dollar move. Now the dollar yen, hold on, we are at trend line support right now. So how important is 101? I mean, that's got to be really important. Now look at that. That's some pretty key support right here. Okay, I'm going to write down 101 because if that breaks, then you know that risk aversion is probably picking up. All right, resistance right now. Resistance will be 101.70. Okay, and we're in we're in a range here in the dollar yen, but it's still in a bearish trend. I mean, as much as I'd like to say we're in a range, it's really still in a bearish trend. It really is. But we're you know, if we break 101, it's going to get way bearish. It's going to be a lot more bearish. Okay. All right. I'm going to put you on hold for a little bit. When I come back, we'll do the Kiwi. I'm back up to the right. I'm caught up now, so that's good. All right. I'll be back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. All right, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You're listening to the morning webinar. So let's back over to hold on really quick. I had a computer updated over here. Okay, let's get over the Kiwi. So the Kiwi, I mean, the Kiwi is really strong ahead of the RBNZ, and like I said, I'm a little skeptical about trading the Kiwi right now. I know we're we're rallying. We've got a nice little sharp rally going on, and I know the RBNZ is expected to cut rates today, and I know the whole market is really expecting the RBNZ not only to cut rates, but also expecting a knee-jerk reaction higher in the Kiwi. And I think the whole market is actually believing that right now. So can it happen? It can happen. I think it could very, very, very much can happen. However, I am looking to sell a rally in the Kiwi today. Not necessarily the New Zealand dollar. I'm actually looking to buy the Aussie New Zealand much cheaper. That's how I'm going to play the Kiwi. I'm not playing it through the Kiwi dollar, but because I'm a little, it's like I don't want to be too, I don't want to be too, long the dollar as it is. I'm finding other opportunities, and the Kiwi is not, in my opinion, not one that I want to participate in right now. Now, in my opinion, okay, if the Kiwi can get a spike higher, and it might actually be just take us into the range resistance here, which very well could be the case. But if you look at the daily chart, we still have a channel up here, okay, and a move towards 73.70 is not out of the question. Okay, and we're at 72.50 right now, so you're talking about another 120 pips higher. That is not out of the question, especially today. If the RBNZ cuts rates, or let's say they don't cut rates. If they don't cut rates, we're going a lot higher than where we are. But if they cut rates, okay, and the Kiwi gets the knee-jerk reaction higher, where can we go? And my opinion is we can go right up to resistance, because if you look at this move right here, okay, just this pullback, that'll take us right to 73. And obviously 73 is pretty key. Okay. All right. So as far as today goes, I'm going to write down resistance at 73.05. I think we can probe right above there. Okay. We are in a range. Now, support for the Kiwi on dips today, we should be fairly well supported right to here because yeah, Aussie, anytime you want to turn lower from where you're at would be great. Anytime. U2 Euro. All right, so 72.20 should act as pretty good support today, but if that breaks, then you might see a little bit bigger pullback. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at, come on, Swissy, bounce. Let's take a look at the dollar index. Okay, so the dollar index, we just broke the 618. We just took out stops below those lows, and now we're starting to bounce, which in summer trading, gotta imagine that's pretty doable here in summer trading, just to push past support, just enough to stop out everybody. Okay. Further support. Okay. See this spike low right here? That one, right there. Okay. If you come through here, right there. $95.40 should contain prices today. Okay, resistance right now. $95.70. We're at $95.50 right now. $95.70, $95.80, $95.90. I can't assume that low is gonna stick because I don't know if that low is gonna stick right now. So I can't start drawing fibs. But that previous support at $95.70 should at least cause a little bit of selling should we get up there. And we are in a big, fat, juicy range. And we're just getting whipped around inside of this range. Okay, so that's the dollar index. Let's go over to the peso. All right, so the peso has come down. It's come down to the 88% retracement. Now let's take a look at the peso here. Okay, we're at 830 right now. Relative strength is divergent, but this has more to do with risk appetite and risk aversion. So well, probably a little bit of both at this stage. Here, let's get rid of this. We don't need this. We don't need that. We don't need that. We'll keep that for now. We don't need. We broke out of this wedge. That was a very expansive move out of the wedge. Let me go over to like a little bit longer term. Okay. Actually, let's stop right here. Man, we are on some pretty key support here. if you, again, it's trying to just get this trend line. You have to draw through a couple wicks, and it could be drawn like this. But that was a pretty significant low, so I'm trying to go to the very tip there, and it cuts through some of those wicks, but that takes us right to the 88% retracement to 1829. I don't know if I really want to be long more dollars, but this doesn't look like a bad place to look for a bounce in the peso. I'm going to write down 1829. Whoops, 29. And then resistance would be on any move back up to 1850. Okay. And we are obviously in a big range. We just come down to the bottom end of the range, but you can see we're in a big, big range in the peso. All right. Very oversold too, on top of that. Okay. The Norwegian krona. The Norwegian krona broke down yesterday. Now, we broke the 840 level, and we came off pretty good. This is a nice range extension. I was looking to see if it was an A, B, C, D, but just very strong move right now out of the krona. Stop here for a second. Whew. Man, if the dollar wasn't such an aggressive move right now, I would probably be buying the peso, U.S. dollar Mexican peso. I'd probably be buying the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. I'm really, since it's summer, since it's summertime and the moves in the dollar have been aggressive overnight, being short the euro and short the Aussie right now, but just buying a little bit of dollar, buying a little bit of dollar Swiss, it's a little too much for me to start, just getting long the dollar across the board because it's been such an aggressive move. But if this move wasn't so aggressive, I'd probably be buying the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona, especially with crude rolling over like it is. Hold on, let me try one last thing. 127% extensions right here too. So I'm going to write down 826. Now this is very tempting to get long right here. Very tempting to get long. God. Man, we're at 827. Let's really put the stops below 824. As much as I want to, I'm not going to. As much as I want to buy here, just as it's probably very oversold on. Oh, look at the 4 hour. I mean, we're just grossly oversold. As much as I want to get long down here, I'm not going to. But I don't think that's a bad opportunity for a bounce, frankly. Okay. Resistance is not all the way up until 840. God, it's tempting. Oh, it's tempting. But the dollar move overnight has me a little freaked out. That's the reason why. I'll just be very careful. Some of you might be though. Some of you might be. Let's take a look at the Swedish krona. All right, U.S. dollar Swedish krona is breaking lower as well. It's a lot of support down here. At 845.60, so I'm going to write down 845.50, 8.4550. That should be pretty important support down there. And it's tempting not to go long this one soon too. I'm not going to, but I think that resistance is actually right here. You had that one wick that pushed below, but all the other wicks are right at 850 right now. If we get down to 845.50, I might be interested in buying that bad boy. If we get down here to that yellow line, I might be interested in buying it. I don't know. It's more. I think more important what happens with the euro at this stage in the game. And the euro, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the euro has been sitting here for the last couple hours. I mean, we've just been kind of sitting here. If you look at the euro, we really haven't moved a whole lot. I mean, we've been in a 70 to 90. I mean, 20 pip trading range since, you know, yeah, for the last 3 hours or so. All right. So anyway, here's your bias chart. It is done. Let me go ahead and take some questions. And I have a few minutes to take some questions. Okay. Oh, great. I just saw flash flood in effect for most.